go.
All right, welcome to LouisvilleWargaming.com's first official battle report, and we are at Silver Creek Gaming Store in Sellersburg, Indiana, for our first Tamurkhan campaign battle report. Today we have the Demons of Chaos taking on the Vampire Celts of the von Carstein bloodline. A little background on the campaign so far. We've just started this month, so if you look at the maps, the Alliance has marched its way north and has taken the fight to Chaos as opposed to letting Chaos come south and do whatever they want down in the Southlands. This battle ranged from left to right. We have the Skaven armies moving over. Next in the middle we have Tamurkhan and his Chaos Warriors, and on the right flank is actually where this battle takes place. This is the Demons fighting the von Carsteins. Now normally the von Carsteins wouldn't be fighting for order, however, since they actually govern one of the provinces of the Empire, it actually makes sense for them to actually want to defend the Empire instead of just let Chaos come down where they're going to have to defend them anyway. So they have thrown in their lot with the Alliance in an attempt to stop Chaos before they reach the Empire. So a couple things real quick before we get started on this battle report. There's a few house rules that we use to quell any questions that may come up during the game. The first one is in Magic. Double ones always override double sixes. Double ones count as a miscast, whereas a double six just counts as irresistible force. A double one is not an auto-fail, it's just a miscast, and if the player that rolls a double one happened to roll enough to get the spell off, it will still go off. The second is that magic resistance is always in effect in this campaign, so for spells that would normally not give you any save whatsoever, if you have magic resistance, you would still get that magic resistance save. And the third big one is that units taken down to half strength or less count for half their victory points as opposed to no victory points, which is how by the rules without any modifications work. In addition, any troops that are fleeing at the end of the game count as being destroyed even if they haven't left the table yet. Now in this game that probably won't matter since we have the undead demons and now there's which flee, but for future references if you see that, those are worth some extra points. So as we get started, we're going to look at the armies real quick and we're going to look at the battlefield and we'll go ahead and get kicked off. So let's go over and look at the armies.
Alright. Looking over at the Nurgle army, we've got a pair of Plague Bearer units of 28 and 29. One is led by Bonice, the Battle Standard Bearer. She rolled the 2+ Steel Skin reward. Here we have a pair of Skull Cannons and the Demon Prince Zitz himself. He has the artifact that gives him a +D3 Strength Initiative attacks. Here we have 6 Fleshhounds. We have a Nurgle Soul Grinder with a Claw upgrade ready to try to cut the head off of any vampires. And last we have some Plague Toads proxied in as Beasts of Nurgle. Looking over at the Vampire Count army, all 3 vampires have the Aura of -1 leadership and Beguile, which is take a leadership at -3 or reroll all your hits. We've got 2 blocks of zombies, 2 blocks of 40 skeletons. We have a Black Coach and a Mortis Engine. We have 3 vampires we're dealing with, and a unit of 6 Blood Knights, also led by a hero. So this is the vampire army and what's coming at us here.
Yes.
Alright, looking at the battlefield, this is set in the Chaos Wastes. Off in the corner over there you can see some arcane runes and a mysterious forest. And as we pan over to the east, we have a Chaos Altar and an Acropolis, which is kind of hanging out there with another mysterious forest. Other than that, the table's pretty open. We added some rocks and boulders to kind of give the appearance. This was set up in a narrative format and not randomly rolled for visual sake. Alright, Chaos Grat turn 1. And basically what these guys are going to do, we've kind of deployed bad. These 2 blocks of Plague Bearers, you can see they're hanging off on the left flank. Rob's turtled up in the corner there. We're going to kind of try to swing that flank over and engage as fast as we can because most of our troops are going to be superior in combat to what the Nurgle troops can bring. So coming in forward here you see a diagram of the deployment right here. And again, my flank is heavy on the left. I've got to try to swing that back over to the right, and we're going to have to use some monsters. We have the Soul Grinder and the Demon Prince, which are going to try to push forward. So here the units are simply just moving forward. The Soul Grinder is going to go ahead and move forward. The cannon here is going to try to get a shot. I want to try to drill that Mortis Engine as fast as possible. That guy's buffing all of those units back there. I don't like that. So we're going to try to go ahead and pop some shots. And then the beasts and the dogs are going to move up the right flank, and the demon prince is going to fly into the forest, which ended up being a blood forest, so it could do some damage, but we're just going to try to get in there so he's got a good wide angle of attacks. Magic phase, and we rolled a 9. Alright, so now we have Zitz here. He's going to go ahead and drill the Blood Knights with a spell to drop their toughness to 1. Then he's going to go ahead and miscast and end his magic phase. But at least the Blood Knights are toughness 1 now. The Skull Cannons are both going to take 2 shots, and both those are going to land on the Mortis Engine and drop it, as you can see here in the video. It is gone. So the Mortis Engine's gone. It's no longer buffing the back line, and the Blood Knights are currently toughness 1. So here the diagram kind of shows you how everybody on the demon side moved forward, and we are preparing for the vampires, and hopefully their magic phase doesn't come out too strong. There's Rob charging with his black coach and rolling 3 1s and failing. So he uses his unit reroll for being painted, and this time he's going to get it in. His black coach is going to go ahead and charge the skull cannon right there, and he's going to try to knock that through and continue onward. Then over here he's just going to dress up his right flank. He's going to move the zombies forward. He's going to try to tar pit what's coming on that flank, which would be the beasts of Nurgle and the flesh hounds. And zombies are perfect for that, especially if he's going to be able to get some spells off that are going to boost their numbers. The toughness 1 Blood Knights are also going to move up. He was leery. He wanted to charge, but due to them being toughness 1, he's going to go ahead and wait this turn, which is good. That's kind of what I was hoping for, because that's going to prepare the demons to countercharge in turn 2, or attempt to countercharge in turn 2. Alright, and then the HQ unit, that's got its army standard bearer and his general. They just went ahead and moved forward. And these skeletons, they look like they're going to go ahead and reform kind of behind the zombies. The zombies are going to push forward, and again, they're trying to catch any of the main demon units so they can try to tar pit them, and hopefully he's going to try in the magic phase to boost those guys up. So the Winds of Magic kind of blew weak for him on this turn. He was able to boost up both of those zombie units though. So now we have 2 rather large zombie units sitting out there ready for me to charge them and hold me up for a good portion of the game, or at least he's going to try. Now the black coach went ahead and slammed into the skull cannon. Wasn't able to do anything, and the skull cannon in return wasn't able to do anything. I lost by 1, but the skull cannon's going to go ahead and stick around, which is going to leave that black coach's flank wide open to a countercharge by Bunnies and her unit of plague bearers. So here we have the diagram showing you the vampire counts turn 1. Alright, so coming in, demon turn 2. Bunnies and the plague bearers are going to go ahead and charge the flank. Toads are going to charge the mass unit of zombies and get stuck in over there, try to halt their progress, at least maybe do some damage. And in the center, Demon Prince Chariot charge into the Blood Knights, see if they can break through that. So we're trying to break through the center of the undead line here. You can see the Plague Bearers have gone ahead and charged. The other Plague Bearers are kind of stuck out in the wind, so they're moving up the flank. The Soul Grinder is going to charge the other unit of zombies and again try to whittle that down. And then the Flesh Hounds are going to go ahead and reform, and they're going to try to march up that right flank around that combat and maybe support later in the game. And there they are, reformed and ready to move in. Soul Grinder's in on combat. We've got a lot of combat going on. Plague Bearers are on the left are just now starting to wheel around on the flank. So here comes the Winds of Magic. You see 5 dice. Now the magic phase was pretty worthless. The only spell that went off was Dispel Scroll. So combat, the Black Coach is pretty much destroyed in short order by the unit, and Bunnies and the Plague Bearers are going to surge forward, and they're going to try to lend a hand to the zombie unit. Over here, Plague Toads, they whittle away some zombies and knock it down below half strength. We still have the Demon Prince, and the Demon Prince goes ahead and in a challenge kills the hero, and then the Thunderstomp kills a lot of the Blood Knights. There's only 2 left now, so that unit's about to fall, so it looks. And then that leaves the Soul Grinder, who does a lot of damage to the zombie unit on him. So a lot of the front zombie, the mud pits, they're starting to fall now. So the vampires are going to respond in their turn. And they're going to have to do something to step up and plug those holes that are being formed. Alright, so on the vampire's turn, he's just reforming those skeleton units to prepare to receive some charges for once his blocker units are destroyed, and that was pretty much it. That's all he can do. So, Winds of Magic phase, he goes ahead and rolls a 5. Another low Wind of Magic roll for the vampires. However, he is able to pop off a bunch of Invocation of Hex and start healing. So the zombie unit that the Plague Toads were chewing on, yeah, they come back. The vampires that fell down, yep, the hero came back. Or the Blood Knight came back. So now there's 3 Blood Knights. And then the zombie unit that the Soul Grinder was chewing on, yeah, they came back. So the vampires are like, yeah, we'll plug the holes back up again. Here we go. Have fun chewing on these zombies. Alright, so the Plague Toads, they're going to come in, and they manage to kill a couple zombies, but it's really not enough. They don't lose anything extra. The Blood Knights do fall this turn to the Chariot and to the Demon Prince. The Soul Grinder was able to kill a couple, but again, he wins combat. Nothing happens because of the Battle Standard Bear. So, Demon's turn through. You see we have a lot of charges going on. We're going to go nail the HQ unit where the Vampire Lord and his Battle Standard are, and Bonnice and the Plague Bears are going to hit that zombie unit in the flank and hopefully make that evaporate. The remainder Plague Bears, they're continuing to march up the flank to try to engage that skeleton unit in the flank. This Chariot is going to move around and also threaten that skeleton unit, and the Hounds are going to move around the right flank and try to get into a position to rear charge the skeleton unit later. So here you have the field now after all the movements that we made. So, the magic phase, the Curse of the Leper was cast on the Demon Prince, which raised his toughness to 6. So here we go in combat. Plague Toads continue to chew on zombies, and they managed to whittle some more away. Soul Grinder whittling away on zombies, and with the flank charge destroys the zombies. And then the HQ unit over here, they're in combat with the Demon Prince and the Chariot. They get stuck in, no real damage done. You see the Soul Grinder's taking some wounds now, and the Demon Prince has taken a wound. So that combat over there is looking scary because that Chariot looks like he's about to fall, and the Demon Prince will be left unaided. So now the Vampire's going to try to take advantage of this, see if they can go ahead and pop off the Demon Prince or kill that Chariot. That Chariot's got 1 wound left on him. Alright, so the Vampires, they're ready. The skeleton unit with the Vampire Thrall charged into Bonnice's flank from that. Now the zombies are gone. And that combat, not much really occurred. A couple of Plague Bears dropped, but they're still stuck there. The Plague Toads managed to kill the zombies. There you have the Demon Prince being challenged by a skeleton champion. And the unit of skeletons and the 2 other vampires are going to kill that Chariot. And the Demon Prince is going to take an extra wound due to combat resolution. Actually, that reroll had to happen there because he almost popped. If it wasn't for his unit reroll, he would have died as well. So Vampire's looking a little bit better. Demons in turn 4, they're going to go ahead and start giving some aid. We got the Soul Grinder and the Plague Toads coming in to help on the main Vampire unit. And then we have a flank charge on the skeleton unit by the left wing of the Plague Bearers. So, coming in here, Productive Magic phase had lowered the skeletons and the Vampire main unit. Their weapon skill and toughness, everything has been dropped. So you can see we have 10 on the Winds of Magic. So that means all the ward saves right now have been boosted to 4+. And that skeleton unit again is dropped down to toughness 1. All the vampires are pretty much toughness 2, and they're at -1 on their weapon skill and initiative as well. So the flank charge was devastating on the left flank, and with the combined might of the Toads and the Soul Grinder, we were able to start whittling away the main HQ unit with the Vampire Lord. And also notice that the Flesh Hounds on the right flank have reformed, and they're also getting ready to come in and do a flank charge. So things have now turned to the Demon Prince didn't die, so now the Vampire counts have to turn this around as best they can, but they're kind of stuck in, so there's not much they can do. So some magic phase is going to, Rob's bringing up some new zombies he's creating. He's going to try to bring in some reinforcements. There you have him healing the damage that's been done due to last turn's combat. I'd also like to point out that this mission is Blood and Glory, so we are going for banners and killing generals in this mission. So those are all the spells he's able to get off. Notice he's healed and cast a series of magic items. That skeleton unit right there has got Hellish Vigor on it and Dance Macabre on it, so they're re-rolling a bunch. In combat, we dropped the Battle Standard Bearer with the Soul Grinder. He failed his initiative roll, so I was able to actually auto-hit with the Soul Grinder. So the Battle Standard Bearer dropped. And the remainder part of the unit is flailing against the Nurgle daemons. The one thing I like about the Nurgle mark, the -1 to hit combined with a skeleton weapon skill of 1, meant that they were hitting on 6s most of the game. And that was a big thing in this game, is that a lot of the skeleton zombies, they needed 6s to hit, especially when you start dropping their stats with the buffs and the hexes that the Nurgle lore gives you. So the skeletons are trying to put up a fight. They're not doing too well. They're pinned in. So on the demons, turn 5, we're trying to clean this mess up. So the flesh hounds, they're going to go ahead and charge the flank, and we're going to try to get rid of this unit. And then hopefully on the left, that last remaining unit of skeletons are going to drop to those plague bearers. So here we have the chariot getting ready to reform itself and help support. Magic phase, we rolled an awesome 3 dice, so the Wrath of the Chaos Gods on the table came down, and Bonnice got struck, but she was able to save the wound that happened, and with 3 dice, not much going on in the magic phase, so that was it for the magic phase. So combat, you can see here the skeleton unit is destroyed finally by all those plague bearers, and then that just leaves over here where we have the main skeleton unit being charged and attacked by plague toads, by flesh hounds, by the soul grinder, by the demon prince. The demon prince was still locked in combat with the skeleton champion, because every time the skeleton champion would die, he would just get raised back up by the invocation of the hex. So the demon prince spent most of the last 3 turns just fighting a skeleton champion in a challenge. So that was great. He kept hugging the champion died and would come back. So the demon prince didn't really contribute to that battle other than to try to get combat res up in that combat. So Rob's rolling a bunch of dice, needing 6s. He's able to re-roll a bunch due to his buff spells, but even still, you need 6s. The Soul Grinder's toughness 7, so he needs 6s to wound it. There we have saves. He actually put a wound on a Plague Toad. The Plague Toad's down to 2. I actually had forgotten about regeneration in this game. The Beasts of Nurgle have regeneration. So again, he's trying to aim at the Soul Grinder. He's needing 6s. 6 to hit, 6 to wound. Now the vampire needs 4s to hit and 6s to wound. See, I'm saving a bunch there. Soul Grinder taking 3 wounds now. Demon Prince is out to 2 wounds, so the Demon Prince only got 2 wounds left. But as you can see, skeletons are dying by the handful. Skeletons are very easy to kill, so that's not helping the cause out when the combat resolution is just too easy to gain. In this situation, you're being hit on all sides by demon opponents.
Alright, so that's it. That's game. The demons managed to drop the vampire counts. Pretty well. We'll let Rob talk about it a little bit.
Initially in our game, I think the thing that hurt me the most was not having any magic. Average roll of 5 for vampire counts initially. It kills you on the ones of magic if you don't get any power dice, especially when that's when you base your fight off of, thinking I'm going to control this, I'm going to be able to dominate, create new units, add to them really quick. Didn't happen. And the Nurgle being the -1 to hit, yeah. Zombies not.
Now zombies weren't really matched up against those guys at all. 6 to hit, getting hit back.
First time with the army, I learned a lot today, so that'll change future builds for the campaign. So everybody else that I'm going to be facing, he got an easy one, but we'll look forward to the next one.
Absolutely. As I said, this is the first time I ran that Nurgle army. Most of it performed all right. You know, the Nurgle guys aren't really strong in combat, but going against skeletons and zombies, that's those aren't really exceptionally at fighting either, so they looked good. If I'm going up against elves and some of those elite armies, I'm going to have to find a way to crack that high leadership and armor. The leadership bombs that I was taking during the game were kind of irritating. And the Winds of Magic were pitiful on pretty much both sides. We both had like one really good section and the rest of the rolls were bad. The demon table at least didn't mess with the game too bad, didn't really do anything at all. Other than it gave me that boost, and then my Battle Center Bear tried to get hit with God's Wrath. So it was a good game. I liked it. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Chris.